Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they ride, Head full of flies, so here come the clouds, They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost, Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Andrea, aka Bullhorn Betty here. Look what I found. It looks like a lot of people on YouTube. Right here. Right here. This is a real ass right here. Like many people on YouTube. All you need to do is show an asshole a little love. Right? Right? Tell him. What you need to do? What you need to do? Huh? What you need to do? Oh, too many assholes on YouTube. Say it. Say it with me, baby. Say there's just too many people. Too many people on YouTube that look like you, huh? So the next time you want to be an ass, maybe you should come out here and hang out with the ass. Just saying. You want to be a jackass? There's your brother.
To hear this, but let me put this out here. Stop sparing folks. Hello, somebody. Stop sparing folks. Nobody cared when your feelings was hurt. Nobody cared when you was pacing the floor. Nobody cared when you was sliding down the wall. Nobody cared when you was standing over there with a face full of tears. You had to suck it up, buttercup. But then when it come to other folk feelings, here you are. Want to tiptoe around it. Want to avoid the elephant in the room. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to disturb the peace. Stop sparing folk. Ain't nobody spare you when it was your turn. Give it to them real. Give it to them raw. Give it to them uncut and uncensored. This is exactly what it is. This where you had me messed up at. Huh. Yeah. I ain't playing with nobody this season, baby.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good afternoon, YouTube. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. As many of you guys know, I opened up the chat to all. I have since changed that to members only now that we were getting closer to our airing time. I wanted you guys to all still be able to have fun and communicate and stuff in there. But due to the sensitivity of this topic, I did opt to go members only for this, at least this half of the segment that we are going to be doing today. Many of you guys have been following from the beginning. This is related to a 20-month-old little boy named Quinton Simon that disappeared on October 5th. He was reported missing, and there were a lot of weird things that went on, such as, you know, the mother saying that it was the boy's father that came and took him, you know, all these things. The babysitter, you know, took him. We saw a video come out where Billy Joe was going into the home and, you know, screaming at the babysitter. Meanwhile, you know, the babysitter has been really sitting on the sidelines, you know, trying to keep a damper on all the drama for the sake of Quinton Simon and Quinton Simon's name. A lot of stuff has transpired since we learned of Quinton Simon and his untimely demise at the hands of his mother. Since then, his mother has recently been arrested and charged with malice murder, intentional murder, as well as lying to law enforcement, lying on government forms, and I believe the disposal. There's something there for that. I'm sure there's 4 charges. We'll go over those a little later. But meantime, we're hearing a lot of stuff coming out of other creators, you know, other creators, guests on their show. People are harassing, you know, the babysitter. You know, they're publicly going on lives and trying to raise money for the babysitter to move out of her home. And so I just wanted to, you know, reach out, find out how Diana is doing. Many of you guys know I care for Diana deeply. I believe she was the only person that truly loved these children like they should have been loved, took care of them. Again, watch these kids for $15 a day. I mean, yeah, trust me, she was probably in the red taking care of these kids as opposed to being in the black. And she did it out of a labor of love, out of, you know, being a concerned person in her community, you know, maybe not concerned, but, you know, just wanting to help in her community. And somebody from the church reached out to her. It was right there, right across the street. It seemed to fit. And then, you know, here we are, fast forward this time later. So I'm just going to say hi to a few people in here, but just understand, for the mods that are modding this afternoon, if anybody is rude to Diane or says any rude comments whatsoever, we have rules here for everybody that's in chat. Even if you're a member, that does not preclude you from following the rules. The rules for the chat or you can say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. In this particular instance, we are going to have a guest up on our panel. So if anybody is rude to our guest, you will be blocked. We're not going to give you a warning. You're not going to be given a warning. You're not going to be given a timeout. If you do not know how to conduct yourself as an adult on a channel, then whether you're a member or not, you will be blocked. So there is a zero tolerance policy today. And then, once we hear some information, once we get the side of the story, because in all the grand scheme of things, who's talking? Who's been talking? The person that's been talking has been Billy Joe. That's it, right? We really haven't, outside of the avocation for Quinton Simon, nobody's really heard from the babysitter. Nobody's really heard how this is affecting her or her family. There's a lot more to this. And so we're going to be covering that a little later. I asked her to sign in. So about 7 more minutes or so, Diana should be coming on to panel. And, we're just going to welcome her with open arms and hear what she has to say. I've got some stuff here for you guys to look at and preview, and we'll just move forward from there. Let me just go and check, because I've shut everything down. Let me just make sure that there's no other messages that I need to be concerned with or answer. Give me just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Perfect. So it looks like everything will proceed. And one of the reasons why I didn't come out with who the special guest was much earlier is for the reasons you can imagine. There's a lot of assholes on YouTube, right? There's a lot of them. And with every case, you get a little, they get a little more nuttier. So, I didn't want to, broadcast it. We knew we were going to have a special guest, and we knew it was related to the Quinton Simon case. So there we have it. Renee in NC, thank you. Saw the judge denied the live stream. I'm very surprised that the judges, they're really wanting to not even talk. I don't know what's going on, but they should go live stream. If not, then we'll just start showing up in person this is a public trial of somebody that murdered their child. The judge only has leverage to do so much. That's all there is to it. So he's going to have to, if he's going to deny the live stream, he's going to have to open up that courtroom. And I'm only 6 hours away and willing to travel. So just to let you know. So nice to hear you. Quiet Mind. Yes, we do see you. Let you up. Dodo Dickinson. Nice to see you. There was no bond given to Leilani. So that is really, really, really good. If you guys have not gone out and liked this segment, please go out and like it. And we'll be getting started here just shortly. So I am Team Summer. Nice to see you. Sunshine. Angie Stiles. Jamie Johnson. OG Kush, 420 in the house. Hello. Caroline, nice to see you. Pam, Peggy, Dixie Rebel, nice to see you all in this chat. Gigi for Life, Stacy. So again, many of you guys know that this is related to Quinton Simon. And we just want to know what's going on. We're hearing a lot of mixed information, right? We're hearing that Diana and Billy Joe are these new BFFs and things of that nature. And I don't necessarily think that that's really what's going on here. If anybody has ever met Miss Diana, and I'll have to ask her when she comes on if she likes Michelle or Diana. Some people told me different names, but either way, we'll make sure we address her the way she'd like to be addressed. But she's really nice. She's a sweet, sweet person. I can't stress that enough to you guys. She's a very, very sweet lady. And I can guarantee anybody that talks to her with respect will get her speaking to them with respect. That's just the kind of lady she is. She's not really, in my opinion, the kind of person that would be nasty to somebody, even if she had you know, a horrible incident or altercation if that person is speaking to them in kindness. So I think Billy Joe, maybe, I don't want to put words into Diana's mouth, but I think that there's a little more behind what we're hearing online, and wanted to give you guys the perspective necessary. But Diana definitely needs our love. She needs our support. She really did take on a lot of heat for bringing baby Quinton's case to the world. Really, she was the one advocating for this baby. Also, you know, clarification on some photos as well. She'd like to give some clarification on some photos. So a few things that we're going to be talking about when she comes live will be, we're just going to get some, you're just going to bring you guys up what's, you know, very briefly, we're going to talk about what brought us to this point. And then we're going to talk about some things that we've heard, and just clear some things up. And I think it's time for us to have some things cleared up. And again, we're going to do it very respectfully. And that's why you guys are on members only. So let's not violate the rules. We'll all be able to learn some new information and hear, you know, from a person that was truly affected by, you know, this whole scenario with Quinton Simon. Remember, this family loved this boy. This family, you know, when this boy ran away from home, guess who he went to? He went over to Miss Diana's house. So we just have to take that in consideration. So does anybody have any specific questions while we wait for Diana? Do you guys have any specific questions? Oh, hey, Hellcat, nice to see you, love. Any specific questions related to stuff that you've heard or anything like that? If you have, you know, throw it in the chat. Again, respectful questions. We're not going to be dissecting the Quinton Simon case. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to listen to some of the stuff that's going on and affecting Miss Diana's family and you know, the community, and clearing up a few things that we've been hearing through social media. I had an update, my cards. Oh, oh, that's sweet. Well, thank you, and God bless you. God bless you. Just one second. Let me make sure I got the link, just in case, because we were chatting back and forth. It may have gotten lost just a little bit. Give me just a second. Sorry, guys. Things are running slow here, and I'm not sure quite why, but they are. So give me just a second while my messenger pops up. There we go. Okay. So Miss Diana, if you're watching, I just sent you the link to Messenger so you can get into the live, and then we'll just go through. No bond, pled guilty. There she is. There she is. Well, hello, Miss Diana. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I'm cooking a bird. I'm having Thanksgiving later today.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Instead of tomorrow. So I want to just kind of give you the platform, but I just want to give the audience, there's almost 2,000 people in here. I'm just going to just briefly go through some stages of events and where we are today, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So Quinton Simon disappeared. You were watching Quinton Simon on October 4th.
Absolutely.
And, or was it? Yeah, because it was and you took him home that night to his mother's house.
No, Danny come and got him.
So, okay, so Danny came over to the house, got the kids, and took them over with them. And then sometime on the 5th, you learned that he was missing.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm sure, can you just briefly tell me, were you like just thinking he was around there? You know, had you just gotten out, or did you know that it didn't feel right and something more was going on?
I thought that he got out because he's gotten out several times. Only known of 2, but several times before. So I thought maybe he got out. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you guys went around the neighborhood and didn't find him, then at what point did you go back and ask them if they had called law enforcement?
Um, Around 9 o'clock, I got over there a little before.
Okay,
And
and then we know about the time that they called. From the time that he disappeared to that infamous video where Billy Joe came from her house over to your house in that altercation, how many days after Quinton went missing did that happen?
she come in my house on the 8th.
So 3 days later.
Yep. Yep.
And at that point, I would have to think that, I'm just just brainstorming, but I'm thinking at that point, law enforcement had knew something worse had went on. Tell me just explain what the altercation is, because some people may be in here that have not seen that video. Can you just explain what happened?
Yes, and I'm going to go back to that morning, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely.
She texted me and asked me, did I blame her? And this is all on text, so I'm sure the police have seen this. And I told her, I said, if you would have been home and you would have came home when I told you there was a problem, then I feel like this wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm. What problem were you referring to, if you don't mind me asking? If it's too sensitive, then
It's fine. It's fine. When my best friend was coming over one morning and they were in the ditch, Quinton and Zane was in the ditch.
Alone.
And my best friend calls me and says, Michelle, them two babies are in the ditch down here in front of her house. So my daughter is faster than me, both of them. So they ran out to get them. And Leilani was nowhere around. We knocked on the door. She didn't answer.
Wow. Was she gone, or was she just passed out or doing God knows what? Was she in the, well, let me ask you this. Was she in the home or was she away from the home?
She said that she was in the home asleep upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she was or not. Hour later, a little over an hour later, she calls and wants the babies home right then.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And so then, so those were the problems that you were referring to, and you had reached out to Billy Joe and told her of this event that happened
Numerous of times.
Mm-hmm. And then, so that was the conversation you had that morning. And then what transpired to her coming over to your house?
I feel like,
from your understanding,
I feel like when she texted me and asked me, did I blame her, and me telling her that I didn't agree with what she done, staying away, I feel like she was angry because I didn't agree with her.
Gotcha. And then how long after that text exchange was it that she came over there, like just hell-bent on?
About 3 hours later.
Do you think she was under the influence at that time? Well, maybe I shouldn't ask that. That might be disparaging in nature. Don't answer that. So what was that like? What was she screaming at you? What did she just come in and just pull the door open and just lunge in, or how did this all happen?
Well, we heard my daughter was in the kitchen and we had our screen door open and it sounded like horses was running. It wasn't just Billy Joe. It was more people that came to my house, but she's the only one that entered. And she was
it part of that whole, because when we got there was just a lot of like that Ruth character, her family, they just look at like a lot of rough people.
Yes. That was who it was.
So they were probably right behind her when she was doing all this.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. So she came in and just started screaming in your face, or
accusing me of stealing her grandson.
Wow. And how did that, because you weren't alone in that home, thank God, but you weren't alone in that home, and you guys did have recordings going because we've seen them. Who all was in the home with you? I know your daughter is one of them, but was there anybody else in that home?
2 of my daughters.
2 of your daughters. And how did this affect them?
Afterwards, they were both very upset. My youngest daughter is very emotional, and she said, Mama, how could she say that we took Quinton?
Right. So all this was transpiring. How did that make you feel security-wise? Like, you called law enforcement after that, right?
I did.
And what did law enforcement tell you?
Told me that it wasn't a crime, that someone can come in your house, and as long as they don't touch you or take anything out of your house, it was okay.
That's insane to me. How did that make you feel for your security and safety when you heard a law enforcement with a badge on his chest tell you that?
I was stunned. I didn't know what to think. I asked him like 3 times, and I said, "So I can walk in any of my neighbor's house, just bust in and scream at them and yell at them, and it's okay?" And his response was yes.
That's insane. And she actually did damage your house. I
She
mean,
damaged my door.
because I seen the damage with my own 2 eyes. The door's not sitting right. You have to fight with it. It looked like a pretty expensive, nice door too, not one of those flimsy, just screen door. I mean, it's a nice glass door.
Yes.
What is now? And you rent too. Is your landlord going to hold you responsible for that door? Have you talked to him about that?
I mean, we're gonna replace the door.
Wow. You're going to replace the door yourself.
Yes,
So we're
ma'am.
going to fast forward. Like this is all happened. This happened before we showed up into town. At the time, Quinton was just a missing boy. We got, at least I pulled up into town on the 11th. I went and picked up Jimmy from the airport at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And when we got out there, it was already a pretty busy road when we arrived on the 12th. But on the 12th, that afternoon, is when a press conference came out where the police chief identified Leilani as the prime suspect in the disappearance and death of her child. When you heard that, how did that make you feel? Because you guys have been watching these kids for at least a little moment.
Yes. My heart dropped. I felt sick. All I could do was cry. I remember I was on the phone with one of my cousins, and she thought that she called to see if I was okay, and I couldn't even talk to her without screaming and crying. And she told me I need to calm down before I had a heart attack because, people say that I was just a babysitter. And I want to clarify one thing. I do work. My daughter, my fix me 18-year-old, watched him a lot until I got home from work. She was very close to him as well. So we was all broken so bad. And even though we just watched him, he's a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I love him like I do my grandkids and my kids.
Yeah. Not only that, but you got to see him pick up stuff, play with stuff, those, because they're curious at that age. Everything's so new. So you get to literally watch him learn stuff right before your eyes. And you have a busy household. I mean, I've been over there and there's a lot of kids. So I can't imagine you love children. It's obvious. You love
Children,
kids,
my grandchildren all the time. Yes.
So now, so we heard about that on the 12th. What did you think, when you found out she wasn't getting arrested for the mirror? I mean, we know what all happened out in front there. We're not going to rehash that because I was there. Well, we were there. People were probably thinking we were crazy, which we're not. But what did you think about her not going to jail?
I was very upset, and I was shocked that why wasn't she in jail? Why wouldn't any mother be in jail that hurt their child?
Exactly. So after all of this, now people don't realize you live on, the backside of your house is on their street. Like they're literally 3 doors down from you on the other side of the road. I mean, this is a very close, like you guys are very, very, very close. You were the babysitter. You came out, you were advocating for Quinton, which, anybody that's a suspect or has done anything you're probably not their best friend. And there's been a very hostile, I don't know if that's the best word, but I'm going to use that word. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hostile relationship since this whole incident has transpired. Why don't you tell me what you and your family have been going through since this moment?
People riding by when my grandkids are out here on the weekends and yelling that we're a baby killer. They're
yelling at you that you're.
Yes. Yes.
Were they meaning to turn down that road? Were they meaning to go a little further before they screamed that?
They was coming up the other way.
Oh my.
They was coming up the other way. I don't know what Billy Joe and them has told people, but they have took pictures of my daughters. These people knew when we was in Walmart People would come up to me, and I knew that they knew her because they would mention her, and I just walked away, you know. It's embarrassing when people come up and say, well, why are you lying on Billy Joe, and why are you doing this? You know, and then at night, especially at night when we're sleeping, I don't know what they'll do to us.
Right. Right. When we were there, I mean, Marissa was, highly upset that we had to leave. I mean, she really was. She was crying because we know that this can't be a comfortable situation for you. And I'm surprised that they're saying that to you. And I do know Billy Joe has lied and has manipulated a lot of stuff going through. I mean, let's talk about some of those things. So there was a house key that you purportedly had to their property. That's not true.
That's not true.
And according to some of the text messages I have, even Billy Joe has backtracked on what she says she said.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So tell me about that. I blew up one of the pictures. Now, apparently some of those marks on Quinton were not, they were shadows.
One of them was the one on his leg.
The one on his leg was the shadow. And now, was that pizza sauce on his face, or was that an earlier bruise?
Spaghetti sauce.
So that was specific. So that one circle. So to clarify, that one circle on his face that I thought was an older bruise was actually some smeared spaghetti sauce.
Yes, ma'am. We was at our church when I took them pictures, and we eat every Wednesday, and he was eating spaghetti.
Gotcha. He must like spaghetti.
Yes.
But the one on his arm was visible.
Mm-hmm.
So that grab mark on his arm, out of all the stuff that I circled, that grab mark on his arm was visible. That really truly was a bruise. That was not photoshopped. It wasn't, unclean spaghetti sauce. It wasn't a shadow. It was a bruise.
Mm-hmm. It was
Okay.
a bruise.
Yeah. And then let me see. I'm going to go through here. Do you mind if I just go through here and read these texts?
No, you can read.
Okay. So we've got some text messages here. I'm going to go ahead and just bring them up on the panel here. And this is a conversation that you had with Billy Joe. I know there's a lot of people on here that are using a cell phone, so I'm going to read these. Please don't mind. I'm not. Let me put my glasses on. I was going to say I don't even have my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on. Make sure I can read this. It says. So this is from Billy Joe. She says, "Hey, I'm not sure how to ask this, or if this is going to raise more problems. But do you have the original picture of Quinton that has that's been doctored up with bruises?" You didn't do anything to that photo, did you?
No, ma'am.
So it didn't go to like Photoshop. I mean, what you saw is what you got. It's just that some of those markings are explained by the shadowing, the angle of the phone, eating the spaghetti sauce and stuff like that. So those weren't doctored up. That was the photo. Right. Okay. The photo was taken at your house, and just so you know, it makes me and you look horrible. So she's trying to bring you into this. Like, this makes us look bad because we didn't tell anybody that this stuff was going on, but you really did. Yes. But you told her.
I told her. And a lot of people don't understand the day that Defects was involved. Mm-hmm. The day that they was in the ditch, 3 neighbors, I don't know them, but they said they lived in the area, rode by and said, "We have called Defects so many times. These babies, even before you started keeping them, have been in the road by themselves."
Yeah, we heard that when we were out there too, because they haven't lived in that house. Let me just put this in perspective. They've only been in that house for a year or two, and you've lived in your home for what, 5 years?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
So they're kind of new to the community in all respects. Mm-hmm. So did they live in that community before? Did you know of them before they moved into that house? Or
her husband lives in this community, and his family are very well. That's how I even met Billy Joe and them, through Tommy's sister. They're very wonderful. They're wonderful people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then it says we both look horrible people. We both know these babies were not abused. Do you agree with that? Because I gotta say, if you want to, I have to say, from the neighbors and from other people that I spoke to, this was a common theme. It wasn't that these kids weren't abused.
Yes, I do agree that they were okay, let me say this. I
They
said
weren't
it
beaten every day, but
They wasn't beaten. I didn't see bruises until them 2 on Quinton. Never seen none on Zane since I kept them. But I've learned later of all the problems. I didn't know Billy Joe and them. I didn't know what the neighbors had seen or didn't see because I work every day, so I'm not here. So I didn't see them out in the road, but that one time. Um, so were they neglected? Absolutely, they were neglected. They would come to my house dirty with no diapers. And Leilani didn't care. Danny now, after he had Sky, it seemed like he did a whole turnaround.
Mhm.
He would call me and say, okay, Miss Michelle, what do you need for the kids? Do you need diapers? Do you need milk? Because I've had to call him for milk from work for Danny to come bring me milk.
Mhm. Yeah. And so yeah, that does make sense. And not only that, but that's not, there was a babysitter prior to Quinton and Sky that I had personally spoke with that described the exact same thing. Child coming over there dirty, no diapers, no formula, no milk, no nothing. So this is a common theme because that was with Zane, and that's her oldest, and that was when he was a baby. So that's before all these kids. So it's I find it ironic that you don't personally know the other babysitter, and you both have almost the you guys are almost parroting each other with the condition these kids were coming to the house in.
Yes, ma'am.
It says here, I've heard you over and over try to make people hear, and just like me, when I try to speak, it's twisted really, really bad. But right now, they're the ones twisting a lot of the stuff that you're saying. It's not other people. It's Camp Billy Joe. Is that my understanding?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm praying for our family. I also understand how hard it's going to be in public places. I'm sorry y'all are experiencing that too. But they're the ones causing that too.
Yes, absolutely.
So and you've literally done nothing. I mean, you just watched this kid, and when you knew something was wrong, you knew who was responsible for it, and you can't help that. I mean, you're basically the messenger that's getting slaughtered out here because you knew what happened. Well, you didn't really know what happened, but you knew something bad happened, and you knew who the culprit was, and you were advocating for Quinton as much as you can because when I went there, I was surprised because I was there over a week after this incident occurred, and there was not one missing person flyer in that entire community from that household.
Can I say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
The day that right before she had come to my house, that night, the night before, I had told her, I said, me and a lot of people want to pray for Quinton that he is safe and he's returned safe when we thought he was missing. And I said, me and my daughters are going to get flyers made and go put them everywhere. Her response to me was, that is not your family, not your child, and you will not put flyers out.
Wow. So they didn't even want help. Like, this is all happening. You would think a family would be grieving, would be wanting any community support to help locate their missing loved one, and she told you no.
Absolutely.
Was that a red flag to you?
It was. I didn't understand it because I know I talked to my mom about it, and if that was my mom, her grandchildren, or my child, or my grandchildren,
Mm-hmm.
I would beg everyone to help me find my child or my grandchild.
Oh, absolutely. Because I've met parents. I mean, Brandy Neal, we just came back from Fruitland, Idaho before this case, and she didn't even know how to take me because, I've got a bad rap on the streets of YouTube. But she still met with me, and she still handed me a box of flyers to help.
Yes, absolutely.
She was desperate for any help.
Yes, yes.
She didn't care where it came from. So she's going in here. It seems like she's trying to, and again, get you on her side. It seems very manipulative in nature. I know you're hurting, and I wasn't spreading lies about you. Now the things I said about Leilani, this is from you. But before that, she's like, I'd like you to be here with our family to lay Quinton to rest. But she just made sure that when you were trying to help, that you weren't part of the family, and she wanted nothing to do with you. And you're still being kind to her and saying, I know you're hurting, and I wasn't spreading lies about you. Now, the things I said about Leilani was the truth, and things me or my daughter seen. So you're telling her, look, we've seen these things. You haven't been around to see this stuff. I'm not lying. My daughter's not lying. You know, we're not lying about you or your family. We're telling the truth. And you're right. I know it's hard being a mother and trying to know what to do about the situation. Leilani is your daughter and you will love her. So you're even talking to her as a parent. And Quinton is your grandson. I know this has to be tearing you apart. I'm praying for you. And yes, I'll send the pictures. Just stop talking about our family. People are making threats, praying for Quinton, justice for Quinton. I never lied on you or Leilani. I just told what I saw when you were out of town. And so you're just explaining to her this stuff. And it says, I agree praying was not bad people either, but from Cher, she has made us look bad. And it's all lies. And I gotta acknowledge that, you know, Cher did not make things. I mean, we went down there for a purpose and not for avocation of our personal channels. You have to protect Zane and Sky. I have to protect my girls from evil people, but we are still praying for Quinton and family. And she's writing saying, Cher's been my shoulder. Everyone has hate in their hearts and doesn't know any of the facts, but it'll all come out soon. When it does, people are going to look foolish. I can promise that much. I will never look foolish because I didn't do anything, is what you said.
Yes.
And, you know, and the reality is none of us did anything. The only people that she should be mad at is her daughter and the people that allowed this abuse to happen inside that home.
Yes.
You know, including herself.
Yes.
And it also says, there is just so much I can't talk about. I'm done with going live. I ended up deep in my feelings. I chat and I listen, but that's it. I don't want this drama in my life of media. It's all fake, even the news. So she's acknowledging that, you know, even the news out there is fake. Now, what she's putting on for Cher might be fake. I don't know, you know, but it's not here. And she continues to go on. This was what we were dealing with. I promise I've never threatened you or your family or anyone. That is untrue because we've watched her come in your home and scream at you and threaten you.
Yes.
What kind of threats are you getting currently other than people screaming by telling you you're baby killers? I mean, you guys got a little, you guys have been threatened. There was also something going around that they're trying to raise money to move you out of the community.
Yeah, that is sad. See, Billy Joe says in them texts that she has never caused me trouble. Then you go on, I think it was either Queen Bee or Cher, and say that send me a lot of money so I can move. I don't want to move out of my home. I don't want my kids to move. We've been here for 4 years. This is our home, and we have a lot of good neighbors around here.
Mm-hmm.
And never had any problems.
Right, until this. Like they moved in a year and a half ago, and then you have all these problems that have just infiltrated that quiet street that you once knew and loved.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's also, she is, let me ask you this. How does it make you feel that she's trying to raise money to have you move out, but she has done literally nothing to raise a cent for Quinton's funeral or funeral expenses?
Well, it's sad, and it shows the type of person she is. How do you care about your grandchild, but you're still starting drama with my family?
Right.
You're not, it seems like she's not doing anything for her grandson.
I don't think in my opinion, that's been my biggest complaint from the very beginning, because there were no flyers. You know, we did have signs come out there that said justice for Quinton, and she violently ripped those out of the ground and then tried to take them and use them as hers. Like they literally did absolutely zero for this child to help bring him home and help bring him home safely. And then everybody that did try, that fought like hell, like you, I mean, came under immense scrutiny. You've had your whole entire life torn apart. People have plastered your personal information across YouTube, all because you watched this kid, loved this kid, and wanted the best for this kid, and fought for this kid when he disappeared.
Absolutely.
Do you have a picture of them the same day that way we can prove? So she's actually asking you for stuff that she wants to use as evidence to help her daughter that's what I'm reading here.
Right. And I honestly thought in the first text that she texted me that she was going to tell me something because she said she was so broken. I thought she was going to tell me, what happened to Quinton, or that she knew, or Leilani told her. So I was trying to be as sensitive as I could, but I am a sensitive person now. I believe that you have to treat people the way you want to be treated, and I have a big heart. So even though I was angry with Billy Joe for coming in here, I still am not the type of person just to be mean to somebody. I just can't do that, and that's because of God. 10 years ago, I gave my life to God, and I've changed my whole life.
Yeah. My awakening and my change in my life was about 10 years ago too. I struggled there for the first few years, but then I got it.
Yeah.
We all come from our walk. That's what makes us unique. It's what gives us our life experience. It really does. We don't know why we're taught those lessons we're taught, or why we have to walk the path we walk, but we learn the reason. One day the light bulb clicks and it's like, this is why I had to walk down that dark path. But yes, and with everything that's going, and that's what I said, I prefaced with when I came on is, that this is what it seemed like when I was looking at this conversation. Even though all these bad things have happened to you from this woman, it seems to me that you're just a kind person, and as long as she's speaking to you well, you're going to speak to her well. And at the end of the day, this has always been about Quinton to you. This has
Absolutely.
never been about a personal or petty issue. This has been about Quinton.
Yes, and I'm going to pray for my worst enemy. I'm going to pray for them because that's what we're supposed to do as human beings. We might definitely not agree with what they're doing, but we have to pray for one another.
Mm-hmm. And I say I pray for my enemies even more so than I pray for my friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is no different. So it says, no, I'm not in trouble. I'm not going to jail. I'm fighting to just breathe right now. I'm hurt more than anyone and want nothing but justice for Quinton and my family together. Well, she can't have both. I mean,
Right.
Unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. There's nothing that made me believe this would have happened. I beg to differ on that, but I'm sure you have done all the what ifs just like we have. I'm not protecting Leilani like everyone believes. Trust me, I wish I would have been home too. The would have never happened. I don't believe any of us seen this coming. I believe if any of us had, we would have changed things. But that's not necessarily true either, because we did hear from the community saying that they've seen these children, out unattended. We have, we've seen photos of them with having goose eggs on their head, and this was in all reality a preventable issue.
Yes.
She wasn't listening. It seems to be more than this came out of the blue and nobody knew about it.
Right. I feel like that she didn't. Billy Joe, the 3 times that I met her only, one time was in my house when the boys were here and she got here early. She loved the boys. I never seen her abuse the boys. I seen her love them, but your love has to go farther than coming once every 3 months, bringing them a toy, and then leaving them with a mother that you already know is not fit. I didn't know that. I did not know at first that Billy Joe had custody. I didn't learn that till way later. And I wasn't told why she had custody. She just said, when she called me and asked me, this was a thing, can you keep them and I will pay y'all $300 a week, you and your daughter, when they was outside. Then she calls me back and says, I've talked to Leilani, and there's no perfect mother, Michelle. She got angry with me. She said, and you're not a perfect mother either. Mm-hmm. She said, so I'm going to let Leilani keep them. The only time you will babysit them is when she is at work.
But that wasn't the case. You were watching them even when she was not at work.
Yes, she would be hiding. We would be leaving to take the kids to eat when I was off, and she would run in. But now they did get them at night. I didn't have them all the time because Leilani told her mom that wasn't going to happen. But Billy Joe did ask me, But then Billy Joe sided with Leilani and said she has to learn responsibility to take care of her kids. So you will have them when she's
Yeah.
at work.
And you said, now, is it common for Billy Joe to be gone for 3 months at a time for her job?
Since I've known her, like I said, I've only met her 3 times. I just knew that she was a welder, but she was gone a lot.
Okay, so now was her and Tom gone a lot, or is she gone and Tom does something else? For whatever reason, when I first heard of it, I thought her and Tom both did the same thing and both left for weeks on end. But I saw him in his truck, and it didn't look like maybe he did the same job as her. So I was just a little curious about that, just for my own curiosity.
When I first met them, I think they went out together,
Mhm.
and then something changed where she went to another job, I think making more money. So she went separate way, and then he went his way to work.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And let me see what else here. And you're just saying, yeah, I'm praying. We're not bad people either. You guys are far from being bad people. I was debating if I should text back or not. But here it goes. I'm praying for Quinton every day, all day. We love Quinton, praying to God he's okay. Yes, I have the pictures. That particular picture is shadow on him and the way he was sitting. This was never about anyone but Quinton. The way you have talked about me and my girls is horrible. So you're explaining yourself on here. You're kind of standing up and saying, you did do this. So, and even though she says that she never did this stuff, you're still addressing the stuff that she did do. The way you have talked about me and my girls is horrible. I would have never do that to anyone, and share is evil. I pray Quinton finds peace soon, and I pray you as sincere as I can. It's always been justice for Quinton. And shadows. And then she says, I don't think, and I don't know what was this paper that she sent you? She said, I don't think they were. He's so perfect. I just want to love him. But she writes here, with Leilani every day. Maybe I just, hold on. Maybe I skipped that. I think I got a couple of the same screenshots in here is what it is.
Well, the paper that you're asking me about is a picture of a paper that she sent me, saying that I wasn't the only one getting threats, that Leilani and her was getting threats. Mm-hmm. And supposedly somebody maybe sent that to her, I'm thinking, or dropped it off at her house.
Yeah. Which it's unfortunate. But I mean, at the end of the day, when you hurt a child, you got to expect that. But that's not the case with you. You've loved and taken care of. I mean, when we were out there, whether you agreed with what we were doing or not, you always made sure if we needed to use a restroom, we could use a restroom. You provided drinks as somebody. You prayed with us when we needed extra prayer. You made us delicious turkey sandwiches, by the way. Those things were good. Like I don't know if I was just hungry or they were really that good, but I can tell you they were really that good.
Well, thank you.
And hot chocolate and stuff, like you're just a kind soul, in my opinion. And you were just trying to help. I mean, you had no idea when this child disappeared that he was, I mean, God, this is so horrible, lying in a landfill.
No, I had no idea. And I couldn't even wrap my head around that. Even when they said she did it, I just couldn't wrap my hand around, that is your twin. Y'all look so much alike. How could you hurt your baby?
Yeah. One of the things that I found, and you don't have to, let's see, make sure you don't have to respond to it. But one of the things that I found when I came in there, at least from several people, is that she just never really connected to this child. Was that your understanding or not your understanding? And again, if it's too sensitive, don't worry about answering it.
No, it was. Actually, she didn't tell me. She told my daughter that she never bonded with Quinton, that her and Zane had been through everything with her, but her and Quinton never bonded, is what she told my daughter. And my daughter asked me, she said, Mama, she said, you bonded with all 6 of us kids, right? And I said, yeah, why? She says, well, Leilani said today, because I was at work, that she didn't bond with Quinton. Mm-hmm. She bonded with Zane, but she didn't bond with Quinton.
Yeah, I've never understood that, because I don't have children of my own, but I have grandkids, I have a stepdaughter, and it's like, I love them, and I would never want anything to happen. I didn't have to have them come out of my body to bond with them. They're kids, they're growing, they love life. You know, it's our responsibility to protect them, not even just our kids. If we're around other children and we see them in danger, us as parents, step parents and otherwise, you know, we have the duty to protect that child.
Absolutely.
So, so I watched your TikTok and I know you meant no harm, but if there's a name can't say of the media, I will have to change their names for safety. And at Zane's age, that will be another that would be another hard thing. So she's even talking about. She actually says that she's getting these kids back in these things. And
Yeah, she said she was getting the kids back.
and so she's already talking about changing the kids' names because of this situation. Do you? I don't think you could. I don't know if you could answer. I guess you'd be speculating. Do you think the courts in your community would give these kids back to her?
I don't know, but I would hope not. Only
Because I
because
heard both the grandparents for these kids, Zane and Sky, wanted or were going to be seeking custody for these children.
well, good.
I mean, that's just what I heard back at the very beginning when all this stuff was transpiring, especially when Leilani was named. And they were, because everything kind of happened really quickly. Like she was named on the 12th. They removed the kids from the home on the 12th. Like all this stuff on the 12th happened. It was very quickly. And then we started hearing that, you know, Danny ran off and he went to his parents. His parents and him were trying to get custody of Sky. You know, I had some paperwork leaked from the Youngkin camp to me with the information about Billy Joe. You know, they cited that Billy Joe was supposed to protect these kids and failed to do so, and as a result, they have opted to remove these children from the home. I mean, it just seems to me that it would be hard to get a child back after you've put them in harm's way. Do you know anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about that, but I really hope that they don't get them.
Yeah, I really hope they don't get them either. Did you know? I mean, it wasn't until this case and Quinton, you know, went missing. Did you know that her other son was also in jail for murder?
I did not until all this come out. Like I said, I didn't know the family. I just knew her husband's side of the family. I didn't know Billy Joe and them.
Right. What were your thoughts when you found that revelation that Quinton was named after his uncle that is in jail for murder?
It was, I can't tell you the feelings that I've had about this case and about all this. It's just been really heartbreaking and horrible.
Right. So are you going let me ask you this. Are you going to go to his funeral and stand side by side with Billy Joe and her family?
No, ma'am. I am going to pray for Quinton, continue. I got so many pictures made of him. I told you I'm going to put him up where my grandkids and my kids are. He will never be forgotten. I'm actually going to make him a plate for Thanksgiving of his favorite food. It's not weird. It's because he loved food. And when he was here, he had 3 favorite foods of mine that he loved. And we're going to do a balloon let go very soon for him.
If you let me know, I'm happy to sponsor the balloons and the helium. If you let me know what balloons you want, I'll order them and send them to you.
Okay, yeah, we do want to do that, but I will not go to the funeral. I have to forgive her because I'm a Christian, but I will never stand beside her after she's had people threaten my kids, lie on us, and accuse me of stealing her grandson. I would never go.
Especially when she had to have known early on that her daughter was responsible. We all knew early on that her daughter was responsible. So she either was trying to throw law enforcement off at that point to protect her daughter, or she was just fully in denial. And I just don't, honestly, I believe from her past, she's been doing everything she's doing to help her daughter not face accountability or responsibility for what she did to this child. That's just my personal opinion.
Yes, I agree.
Is there, we're going over, so there's that letter. Oh, so that's the threatening letter. And it says, this is what we're dealing with. I promise I've never threatened you or your family, but that's not true. We've seen her do that. No, I'm told you knew where the outside key was. Oh, this is where she acknowledges that she knew you didn't have a key, even though she went on and said that you had a key to her house.
Right.
And she said, no, I told them you knew where the outside key is just in case you needed something for the kids. Michelle, YouTubers have made you and me evil people. No, first of all, she's trying to incorporate herself in with you. No, Billy Joe, we think you're evil. We've never really thought Miss Diana, and you go by Michelle as well, is evil. I mean, from the very beginning, I've said you are you could just tell just your demeanor and your mannerism that you are a very sweet, loving person. So she keeps trying to incorporate you in with her, and I don't like that. They take everything out of context. I've had to over and over remind myself they want a show. As long as you or myself go on YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok, we will continue to have problems. But you haven't been going on all of these social media places. I mean, you'll tell a story or an event and leave it that. You'll show the candlelight vigil, but you're not going on there and getting into the pits and the gutters like Billy Joe has been doing. Like Billy Joe has been going on Queen Bee. Billy Joe has been going on Cher's channel. Billy Joe has been talking and everything while you have been in the back being silent. And what would you like to say like that? As long as you or myself go on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, we will continue to have problems. But she's been the only one driving that bus.
Yes. When I get on TikTok, and I do TikTok because I cook and one day I want to open my own restaurant. I always have, but I've been doing TikTok for a while, and I put my cooking videos on, and people ask me about Quinton, and I will answer a little bit, and then I'll say, well, I didn't get on here to talk about this. I change the subject, but people want to know. And I said after Quinton was found that I would talk, because I've been sitting back letting her say just whatever she wants and a lot of lies.
Yeah. I'm so emotional. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm disgusted. I'm sad. I'm every emotion in one. I can't even give how I feel a name. No one wants the truth in the media. They only want the drama. When the YouTubers were at our house, they tried to get you to say things. I never approached you, did I? I never asked you for an interview.
And that's what I said. I said, Dolly, Betty, and Molly, they never asked me. Molly come over here and she prayed with me. Mm-hmm. And she grabbed my hands and she started praying. And I thought that was so awesome, because that's what we needed to do, was pray.
Yeah.
Y'all never ever have you asked me to do anything.
No. And it was because we knew you were going through a lot. We wanted to support you. And we never came there. I mean, to be honest with you, the only person that was talking to YouTubers was Billy Joe and her family.
Yes, absolutely.
So she keeps going on, a media life. It's all fake, even the news. I have to agree. Your news is I don't like your news. And it says, and honestly, the only reason I listen is because I want to hear people talk about Quinton. I want to hear his name. Well, she could just say his name, because the whole time we were out there, it was like pulling teeth to even have her say Quinton's name. And for Leilani to say his name, man, she got a sourpuss look on her face every time. Like her mother had, when they stole the signs and they were sitting in the front of the yard, her mother had to look over there and said, and tell her, say justice for Quinton. Like Leilani wouldn't even do that. Yeah. It was just, it was crazy. Yeah. So she's completely broken. I believe that she's completely broken, but I hate the fact that she keeps constantly referring like we were so blindsided by this. No, you were not you, but she was in complete denial as to what was going on. And because she was in complete denial, this is the situation we are left with.
Yes.
Well, it just felt like you wasn't saying, hey, their Nana loves them. So she was wanting you to advocate for her. So she looked like the stellar grandmother, even though she was never around.
And that's what one of her friends told me. She's mad at you because you have not been over there supporting her and advocating for her. Well, this was not about her. It was about her grandchild.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem. That's what YouTubers, that's why we don't like people like that, because when you take and start talking about yourself, like you're missing a 20-month-old child. We don't care how uncomfortable you are. Are you kidding me? I don't care if she's uncomfortable.
Right, right.
You know, are you know where the 20-month-old is, and then we'll let you be comfortable. When you don't know where a 20-month-old child that you're responsible for, you don't know where their location is. I don't care if we're driving you up a wall or you're comfortable in your house, or if somebody's coming to your defense or not coming to your defense. Get your butt up and go look for your grandkid.
Absolutely.
That is just insane. So I'm not in trouble. I'm not going to jail. Okay, so that's where she's saying she's not going to be going to jail, and it is sad to me, because I really truly believe that if she had not lied to the courts and she told the courts, look, I can't take care of these kids. I'm not home to take care of these kids. I travel, out of state. I'm gone for weeks on end. They would have taken those kids and put them in foster care or whatever other remedy to make sure those kids were okay. But because Billy Joe went to court and took responsibility for those kids, the courts gave that to her. And because of that, this child is dead.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree.
There was the altercation. And again, if I'm going to ask, but if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. Okay. Are you going to press charges for her going into your house? You are.
I am. I have found out that it's only a misdemeanor,
Mhm.
and I wasn't going to press charges. I had told my mom before the incident the other day with YouTube and her being on it. I said, you know what? I'm going to let it go. I said, because right now she is getting beat up. Like, she's going to beat herself up because of her daughter and what she did to her grandchild. So I'm going to let it go. But then when I seen what she was saying about making me move out the neighborhood and I was the problem, I was like, you know what? I tried to pray for her. I tried to let things go. She's just not going to stop. So I'm going to do what I have to do.
Right, right. And there have been threats. She's telling you she's not threatening you, but when you go on to multiple other stations and YouTube channels, you're hearing her threatening you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's not that she's not threatening you. It's just that she's not texting you the threats that she's levying across upon you. She's just saying it on other channels. But either way, a threat is a threat.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
So what have you guys contemplated on doing? Are you planning on staying and trying to, because I have a funny feeling with their lack of jobs and, not going to work. She hasn't been to work for quite some time. She's obviously the breadwinner there, or at least makes some pretty decent money to have all that stuff. Do you think that they will be moving on or moving out of that community, or are you going to try to move out of that community? Are you going to try to live in peace? Like what?
I'm going to try to live in peace and stay here. My job is right down the road. My church is here. I've been there 10 years. I have a lot of friends out here. So no, I don't want to move.
Okay.
I just want her to leave me alone. We don't mess with them.
Yeah.
I've got to where I don't even like going that way. I'll go around Chatham Parkway. So I don't have to even.
Because now that I realized that you can go through there, I was going around Chatham the whole time I was there. And I'm like, what's going through? Because all those cars, and that's another thing about these kids being in that ditch. Those cars go by us fast.
Absolutely.
And a child can jump out in a car just like that and just be.
Yep.
It's just, it's crazy.
Yes.
But when I went down that way, I love that way. You couldn't, I wouldn't come any other way but that way after I realized where it went and went to 17, and like literally you can get to everywhere from 17.
Yes, you can.
So is there anything else that you want to say? I just want to tell you, thank you so much for letting us kind of dig into your side. I know this is uncomfortable. This is very personal for you. And, but you've been getting a lot of heat, and you've just been sitting by and taking it and taking it. So this is your opportunity. Is there any final words that you want to say to Billy Joe, to people that are harassing you, to other people, other channels? Is there anything that you would just like to say? And then we'll before we close with you, I'd like you to pray.
Okay.
Please.
I would just like to say to Billy Joe, this is about your grandchild. Just leave us alone. Just like, if you're going to stay there, stay there. We don't bother you. I still pray for you. And I will continue to pray for you. And I just want people to know that we didn't lie. Some certain things come from my daughter, and we didn't add to it, but my daughter had said things that she's seen, and I didn't want to put her name out there for her safety. So never was there any lies. Never was there nothing added that I added to it. Things were added, but it was from my daughter.
Yeah. And I actually spoke with your daughter. We never, even some of the information we've never brought your daughter in or up in any respect. Your daughter is sweet. She lost Quinton too, and she's young. She's just now having to deal with probably one of the most painful parts in her life. I'm sure there's going to be many more painful things, as we grow up and we have life, but this is very painful for a young teenager, young lady to have to experience, especially with somebody so sweet and tiny, and the heinous nature of the whole situation.
Well, did you see what they said when we had the vigil about my daughter?
No.
That she was crying when they were playing a song of Quinton, and they said that she was too attached to him, that something didn't look right about my daughter loving Quinton like that. And I just thought, how in the world could you say that about a 16-year-old that loves a baby? Why would you
It's just, you know what, the problem is they don't understand what love is, what unconditional love is. I think that's the problem. And for me stepping foot in that community, I already knew this is a classic case. And I said it from almost the 12th on. This is a classic case of an abused child becoming the abuser, because Leilani was abused by her mother, and she's now perpetrated that abuse on her own children. And I truly believe it. I travel this country, and this is the first experience that I've had where a woman has not just raised one murderer, but has raised two. If that doesn't tell you who Billy Joe is, I really don't know what will.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, I just want to say God bless you. I know I'm not one that I love prayer, so I'm going to have you lead the prayer if you don't mind. I just want to tell you before we do, thank you so much. God bless you. And if you choose, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you choose that things are getting too toxic, too hostile there, let me know. And I will get a few of the creators, and we will do a fundraiser to help get you guys some money to move out if you choose. I know that's your home. 4 years is a long time. Trust me. The reason why I stay in this piece of crap is because I hate moving. I have entirely too much crap to move. I'm far too busy, far too lazy to want to move a house. I will probably die in this house. I could literally have $1 in my account or $1 million in my account, and I'll probably still be living right here. But if you do change your mind, let us help you. We would love to help you.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes. So go, if you'd like to pray, I think we could all use it right now.
Father God, we come to you in your sweet holy name, and you know everything that is going on in everyone's life, and you know the situation with Billy Joe, Quinton, and Leilani, God. And no, none of us are perfect. I surely am not perfect, but I just pray that you intervene in the situation, God. I pray that your will be done in this situation. We trust you. We believe in you. I have faith, God. And I just pray that you go with each and every one of us today, God, and you let us remember that the next day is not promised. And let's love one another and be good to one another to the best of our ability. And I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Diana. I appreciate your time. If you ever want to come back here, if anything comes up, You've got my cell phone number, so please reach out to me if you ever need anything. We're here. I truly believe that at least whenever he was in your care, we knew he was taken care of and he was loved unconditionally, and he was not being hurt. He was not having to see drugs. He was actually able just to be a little boy, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you very much, and God bless you.
God bless you. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up now to the chat. I'm going to just bear with me, folks. Let me get to that side of things, and we will go ahead and get this. Don't forget to like this video, folks. That, was very hard for her. We don't ask very much, but we do ask that you like the video. Sorry, let me get over here. I'm going to put you guys on subscriber only. I had to do that because, again, I didn't want anybody being nasty in here to Miss Diana. She doesn't deserve it. She's been through enough, as you guys can imagine. So, again, just thank you guys. Yeah, it is now open for those. We had it on members only. We have now opened this up to the subscribers on this channel. As long as you have subscribed to this channel for at least an hour, you will be able to now communicate. Again, a big shout out to Diana. She just wanted to clear some things up. She has never lied. She's never doctored a photo. She didn't have the key to the house. She didn't sell Quinton. She didn't steal Quinton. Her daughter doesn't have an unhealthy relationship with that child. She watched these children be uncared for, neglected, endangered because they were in the gutter. All she ever tried to do was help that family. And this is something that Leilani did. Nobody else did this. Billy Joe went to the courts, said she was going to take care of these kids, and then she ups and disappears for weeks on end, not taking care of these kids. We understand parents wanting their children to be, take care of their children and become a good mother, but she was missing all of these red flags, and she put her grandchildren in jeopardy. Billy Joe believes that her and Diana, she's trying to kind of get them both on the same page because she feels if she can get Diana on the same page, she won't look so bad. Billy Joe, you're always going to look bad in our eyes. Why do you look bad in our eyes? You look bad in our eyes because you told the courts you were going to take care of these kids, and then we find out that you, one, didn't take care of these children. You left them with the same woman you took them away from. So what was the point in taking them away from Leilani if you were just going to keep them? Because it was all a show. It was all a dog and pony show in front of those courts. And your grandson was the liability and the collateral damage of you guys playing games with the court system. That's the reality of this. You can't blame Bullhorn Betty. You can't blame Diana for watching your kids, your grandkids, and doing it well under unthinkable circumstances that you and your children created. But at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and open up this panel for those that want to come up. You guys are going to sit in the back of the panel for just a quick second, and then I'm going to get you guys up here. I just got to take a quick break. It's 2:15. I got to get my bird in the oven. All right, for those that want to come, let me get over here and guys, let me go through your super chats and super stickers. I do appreciate it. Hold on, to find my there we go. We'll pin that up to the top for you guys. And before I bring anybody in, hi guys, give me just a second. I see you both back there. Thank you for that. Give me just a second. I got 12 starred These are the ones I grabbed when I was talking to Diana. Those that came in, I probably missed, and I apologize for. But Renee says, Judge, don't want to make Bullhorn mad. That's cute. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Mystified, for becoming the newest member. Oh, Simple Sue, thank you. God bless you. Sorry I can't stay and watch, but want everyone to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you, Simple Sue. Thank you so much. God bless you. We got I Love Coffee, new coffee club member. Regina Wright, new coffee club member. Light You Up, new coffee club member. Crystal, new coffee club member. Angel, Lisa, Misty, D, Don, Ditch Pig Marie. I don't know what to say about that. And Hellcat, oh, welcome so much. Let me just go through here, guys. Bear with me, and then I'll bring you guys up. Make sure I didn't miss any new ones since I've been on here. So it looks like we have Emma M. Thank you. Thank you for being the newest member of the coffee club. So I think that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and bring Kat up. Kat, if you can keep your thing on, you can turn it off, but you're coming up now. Hi, Kat.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. I feel better. I feel like we gave at least Diana an opportunity to be heard and to give her perspective and her side of the story, which I kind of felt throughout all this. She was a little silenced. And what did you think about what you learned today?
Oh, I mean, my eyes are still crying tears.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to Diana and her family for giving that family so much.
Yeah.
I mean, even down to what she charged or what they gave her and then what they borrow back. And I mean, Diana did everything out of the goodness of her heart.
Yeah.
And she got steamrolled by these people. You know, I mean, every way you look at it. And I think that Billy Joe, she needs to take a long walk off a short pier.
She needs to take a good look at herself is what
Absolutely.
she needs to do. Billy Joe needs to quit looking at everybody else and pointing the fingers at everybody else and start looking inward, because she will find out that a lot of her problems start with herself.
Well, not only that, but she's, you know, I really think that she's working out of panic. I think that they've done things so wrongly. Like, why would she even think of taking those children away from Leilani when she knows she's not even capable of taking care of them?
Yeah.
Like, that should have never even been an option. And I do have a question, because I think one day, days ago, I saw the document that she was filed with the court where they gave her custody of the children. But, or no, it was the eviction notice. Didn't she say she wanted the kids out of the house also?
No, she had already, I think at that time during the eviction, had already had the custody of the children, because what they were dealing with at that point was the eviction. From my understanding, let me preface it that way. From my understanding, they were looking for the eviction and the child support. The eviction came first, followed by the child support. But give me just a second. We're going to pull that actual case up and see what we can review. Let me just sign in here.
And then while you do that, I just want to make a comment that, you know what? Maybe this sounds terrible. And I know she's a grieving grandmother, so she says. But I hope Bubba gets Quinton's remains.
Yeah. And that's going to be another point of contention for me too, because in reality, in the grand scheme of things, Bubba is the next of kin, not Billy Joe. So I don't know the legality of the whole situation related to who gets Quinton's remains. I don't think that the county is responsible for him. I think it's the next of kin?
Yes.
And how do they legally define the next of kin in Georgia is really the question.
Well, it would be interesting to know. Well, I think they took the children out of the house, and I'm not sure why. I mean, obviously we know why,
Mhm.
but I wonder how much of the reason they took him out fell on Billy Joe.
Mhm.
Because if any of it fell on Billy Joe, then she no longer has custody. The state does.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should even give Quinton to her then.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm 100% on board with everything that you said, and I agree 100% about that because of the situation that was. And here's the court. Here it is. It's gonna be small. I'll get to you in just a second, Ruby. But it's gonna be small. And here's what it says. It says personally appeared before me, Billy Joe Powell, the plaintiff. And not only that, but look at the date. This is the warrant. This is the to get them. This is signed by the judge here, and I just don't understand. It almost appears that she was evicted back in September. So again, I feel like this is a lie. This is fraud upon the court that they went through this whole eviction process just to show to the court that they are kicking Leilani and Danny out of the house so she could have custody of the kids when they never really did that. I feel like they lied about this entire thing.
Oh, well, I agree. Absolutely. But for some reason, I was thinking it said that she wanted Leilani, Danny, and the kids out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I could totally be wrong on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
I don't
so
know.
much
I don't know
information.
what way we'll have to order. I'll have to go down there probably in person when I go down there and pull the case. But I know that we have the documents, original documents of Billy Joe's own handwriting talking about there's no peace in the home.
Yeah, Andrea, it was actually a handwritten document.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That I
She's
saw,
outlining
yes.
the drugs, the abuse,
Yes.
all this stuff, and how there's no peace in their house. And I'm like, this idea that she didn't know these kids were being abused. I mean, even September 18th, Leilani put a Facebook post talking about, I can't even horseplay with my man and my kids without somebody busting into my room thinking it's something more. And it's like,
Absolutely.
it's like, and then Billy Joe is sending text messages to Diana saying, we're looking bad. Me and you look bad. They're twisting our words. No, we're not.
Me and you, that lady needs to look at herself. She was just trying to get somebody on her side.
That's what I got it too. And I'm very thankful that Diana had an opportunity to at least get some stuff off of her chest. And, and I really, truly do mean that, Diana, if you ever need help or you're ready to move, let us know. We will work our ass off to raise the money necessary so you and your family can be and feel safe.
I agree. All right. Well, thank you. You and your team of people did an amazing job. Some of those people out there were crazy.
Yeah.
Like Miss Crackhead.
It's the passion, they've all had their own walks, and what led them out there to be protesters in front of that home is for them to know, but they were passionate. They were tenacious. They, even after being faced with going to jail, they still continued to show up out there. I mean, they were beautiful people, all of them, even the ones that, want to talk bad about Bullhorn Betty. They were all still there, and we all still stood in solidarity for this child.
Except for the crackhead ladies.
Except for the ones that didn't even know this boy's name.
Exactly. And they made me sick to my stomach. But anyway, all right, I will let you go. Hey, Don't forget, you're in Orlando. Let me know.
I will, Kat. I will. And I do go there. And now that the political season is starting to, pick up, I will start touring the state again. And we'll be in a lot of different places here in the state of Florida for,
listen, you want to go
to this.
If you want to go to Disney, I'll take you. My daughter works there.
I don't go to Disney anymore. It's a waste of my money and a waste of my time.
No, it'll be free.
Oh, well then I freeze for me.
And there's a new CEO, which is Even
There you
better.
go. Hey, it might be a good day. Might be a good day.
I think DeSantis is happy about that.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope. We'll see. Thanks,
All right,
Kat.
sweetie.
God
Thank
bless.
you. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye. All right, so get right with you, Ruby. Just sit patient for me. It was what BJ wrote in the report requesting to have them evicted, Leilani, Danny, and kids. Wow. So she did try to get rid of the kids and then decided, oh, well, maybe the government money is too good. Maybe Leilani shouldn't have it. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Lori Lowe, thank you so much for the super sticker. Ruby, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up now. Thank you so much, love, for being patient. How are you doing?
Indra. Hey, everybody. How are you? Hey. Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad that she came out. I'm so glad you were able to have her on the show. Miss Diana, if you're still watching, I'm Amy. I'm the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. I wrote to you on Facebook, and you were so sweet to return my message and answer me and everything. And I just want you to know that you are better than these people. You are better than Billy Joe and her family. They are darkness. They are evil. And you are love and light. And you are above these people.
Thank you. That was sweet. Yes, that was very, very, very sweet.
And, you know, does everybody see the common theme in everything that Billy Joe has said, whether it's on her Mouthpieces channel or anybody else's channel or on the news or just what she has said in common? Does anybody notice the common theme?
It's all about her.
It's all about her. It's all about how people are perceiving her, and how she could do what she did and bust up into Diana's house and then go on her Mouthpieces channel and them putting out and inciting the hate toward Diana, and she could have something to do with Quinton's disappearance and Danny. You know, they've pushed that narrative, the babysitter and Danny, the babysitter and Danny, you know, on her through her Mouthpiece channel. That's what they've pushed.
Yeah, they were trying to throw off the narrative.
Deny that. She can't
they were
deny
trying to
that.
throw off the narrative. They were trying to protect Leilani, the culprit, the person that actually caused this entire family, this entire community harm, was the last person that would ever be brought out of the mouth of Billy Joe or anybody else on that camp. They were pointing the fingers at everybody else, and still to this day, Billy Joe is now trying to say, "Oh, well, I did everything." No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did squat for this child. You did squat.
Nothing.
You didn't do, like, I have seen a monkey do more work than this woman for a child.
Exactly. You know, she wanted to claim she was broke, but she even stated that she bought that banner.
Yeah. Which one? The one for Cher?
Yeah.
So she
bought that for Cher.
That she
was so proud of it too.
Can't afford to get a billboard or any kind of signage for her missing grandson, but she
exactly couldn't even hang up one of the ones she stole from y'all. You know, that's sad.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're going to steal them, at least hang them up.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, that was from the public. That was supposed to be for the public, for Quinton, not her.
Yeah, I agree. And we spent lots of money And God knows what they're going to do with those things. They're probably going to, you know what the worst part about it is that they're the kind of people that would probably sell those toys. They probably won't even donate the toys to, Toys for Tot or anything like that. They're probably going to sell those toys and use that money for God knows what off the backs of the people of that community. That memorial was not for Quinton Simon.
No, it was not. And y'all were even kind enough to cease fire for a moment and show that y'all are above them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Dolly, I don't know if Olivia was there yet. I know Molly and them weren't there yet. But you and Dolly helped them move that and get set up that tent and all that. And then for them to do...
Well, because they're despicable people.
Evil, self-centered people. And, now through those text messages of Diana's, I did not get, when she's saying I'm not protecting Leilani like people think, I didn't think that it doesn't sound like she really is. Like I said, it's all about her and protecting her and who, how people perceive her.
Yeah.
But considering that she was, flipping the script and then going over there and putting out all this stuff pointing towards either Danny or the babysitter, I'm wondering, what exactly was she gonna do? That was she gonna accuse the babysitter of doctoring the photos?
Or that's what they did. I mean, even in that text message, and that's why I wanted to make sure.
Oh, that's right. She did say that.
What was, even the stuff I had picked up, that one spot on his face, that was smudged spaghetti. It wasn't an old bruise. The one on his leg was a shadow, but the one on the arm was a legit bruise. And we saw an entire handprint on the arm.
Yes, that means that someone grabbed him like that to leave fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
I know when a friend of mine died, she was choked and there was fingerprints just like that.
Yeah. It's sad. And Billy Joe's acting like she didn't know any of this was going on, that this was just I'm telling you, within 48 hours of being in that town, we knew every little detail of the comings and goings from that house within 48 hours. We weren't just out there. I mean, it looked like we were just out there talking on our phones the whole time, but people don't realize when those cameras went off, the work that was being done behind the scenes to get the information that we had was intense. It was overwhelming. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of hours. It was talking to a lot of people. I mean, if I could tell you, Dolly and I spoke to 100 some odd people, that is almost an understatement.
But and she wouldn't have had the balls to go to those people like she did and went off on Diana.
Oh, she didn't even have the balls to come step to me like that. She walks up to me all calm. I'm like, put my hands up.
Oh, when she went and got in Olivia's face, I just thought, oh.
Yeah.
Olivia better be glad I'm not her mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because me and that.
Well, it is so funny because even with that going on, mom was in reaching hands. I mean, you could see.
I know.
But she didn't step forward in a way. She was just right there by her daughter. But I can tell you, let that lady put a hand on you. You wouldn't even see anything. You just see mom's hand around. You get that chick off. I can already see it now. Like, I see you, Whitley. I can already see it now. So, Ruby, any final words? I'm going to get through this, and then I've got to start getting back to.
No, I'm just thankful that he has been found. God bless his little soul. I'm glad she's in jail. She's not getting out. I'm going to, call a ceasefire with Chief Hadley. He says they've got a strong case against her.
Yeah.
And
I definitely have ceased with Chief Hadley. I started calling him Chief Hadley again instead of No Charge Hadley. I will send him a letter. I don't know. It's going to be part apology. It's going to be an apology for certain factors, but it will not be an apology for everything I've done, because I'm proud of the work I did. There are a few things that, I probably shouldn't have done, but I believe things happen for a reason.
Well, hey, maybe he was just kind of taking his anger out on y'all.
No, I think he was
Have
just
you ever done
overwhelmed.
that? I mean, I've done that a lot of times. I take my anger out on somebody else.
Yeah.
And maybe he was just kind of
Yeah.
taking his anger
I don't
out
know what
on
it is,
y'all.
but either way, I'm a big girl and we handle our business like adults. So,
Right.
I do think, at the end of the day, what we were fighting for was to get Leilani off the streets and to bring Quinton Simon home. We were successful.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you take care. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the show. I've got to run to Walmart here in a little bit, and I'm at my daughter's house. I left the cream cheese and stuff in my refrigerator, so now I got to go buy some more.
Oh boy, yeah. Now I've got all my stuff sitting out, coming up to room temp now. So
I've already made my cranberry jello salad that everybody requests every year, and then I'm gonna do my peanut butter pie this evening, and then in the morning
I love peanut butter anything. Peanut butter pie, peanut butter shakes, peanut butter anything.
Yeah.
Well, God bless you, and
All
take
right,
care.
you too. You have a happy Thanksgiving.
I'm here tomorrow morning. Just to let everybody know, I'll be on here tomorrow morning.
I'll be up cooking, so I'll have you on.
Yep.
I'll have you on. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to the Coffee Club.
Absolutely. God bless. So I'm just going to take Kristen and Dolores. Please be patient. I'm going to bring Whitley up right now. Whitley, you're coming up. Hey, love.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I've been a lot worse. I'm relieved. I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to
What did
see
you think
her.
What did you think about Diana's, her coming out and finally speaking and getting some things out there, some corrections made?
Well, I'm glad she did. I'm glad she spoke, but I hate that she had to. Like, I saw a news report this morning, and I don't know if you saw it or not. I sent it to you. But one of the news companies was out there talking to other residents, other neighbors, and some of the neighbors were saying that Diana needed to be investigated. And I'm like, the only woman that cared about this child is who you guys are saying needs to be investigated. We're not talking about the grandmother who had custody.
Investigate Billy Joe and how she's able to have all that stuff and such an extensive drug problem and still have plenty of money to pay her bills. That's who needs to be investigated.
Yeah. I mean, that got me. And, knowing what I know about what's been said in the last week, not to go into too much detail there because there's more coming on that, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But, this is the same woman who's out here asking people for money and then demanding Dolly and Betty to give her $10,000. I hope she kicks a rock with her pinky toe. I'm just
saying. No. She needs to go to Leilani and get the $10,000. And for Cher and Billy Joe, you want to sue Bullhorn Betty, you better come down to Manatee County because that's the way the law works. So if you are too broke or can't travel from Canada to Savannah, Georgia, good luck trying to have lawsuits here and in Virginia, because that's where you need to sue somebody. That's why I travel. When I sue somebody, I go to their county and their state and take their ass to court.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
But, let the flock of sheep that she's got just keep paying for everything. And that's what I said, they're supporting murderers. That's all they're doing.
Yep. They're despicable people. And Billy Joe, I hope, does have to pay one way or another. Now, granted, like Miss Diana said, she's going to go ahead and move forward with that. It's just a misdemeanor. But, hey, you know what? We'll take it.
Thank God. And she needs to.
Yep. God bless you, Whitley.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye. Dolores, I'm going to go ahead and pull you up now. There was another person back here. They were on here the day before yesterday. If you guys want to come back up, come back up. Dolores, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. So what do you think about all of this?
Well, I watched you guys the whole time you were down there. And I just thought the entire time you were just something else. You are such a strong lady. I could never have.
Everybody, believe it or not, I didn't used to always be this way. I mean, this is something that over the last few years came out in me, you know, in the political world and then now in the true crime industry.
I watch you all the time. We have a lot in common, and we're about the same age. And I live with my mom. I'm Sharon. She's Dolores. But
okay.
I was telling her, I was like, listen to her go, man. You were just telling the cops how it was, and we were just like, I said, I wish that I could be that way.
Yeah, that was a lot of years of school and thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of dollars.
You're definitely educated.
Yes, and
But
the laws. That's the one thing I always said. If I could get, the four corners, the accounting, the medical, and the legal, if I can do, and I did, I went and did some courses in every single one of those and got certified in every single one of those. And so I figured no matter where I didn't know what I wanted to do in life, but I figured if I cornered the financial, the insurance, this, that, and the other, then no matter where I went, I could always make money.
I went down the social work line, so
I won't do social work.
Honestly, I did it to work with old people because I didn't want to work with kids. There's no way I could, but I wanted to ask you something. What's going to happen to those other two children?
Well, there's a few things that could happen potentially. Now, one of them is they could go back to Billy Joe. Now, I don't know. I would hope that the judges are a little more cognizant, and she's now got child number 2 in jail for murder. So I'm hoping that they take a good hard look at her parenting skills, because it's hard to make one murderer, let alone 2. And the fact that she put her grandchild in harm's way, which resulted in a death. And then you've got from my understanding, when this had happened, both the grandparents of both of the remaining children, both of the surviving children, it appeared that the grandparents were trying to get custody of those children. I don't know if it was temporary custody, so they didn't have to go to foster care during this time, or if they're truly seeking permanent custody. I would behoove those families, please seek permanent custody. Bubba?
I was thinking last night, I was like, I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
A lot of people would. There's a lot of people, those kids should not have to go back. We see, and not only that, but throughout this process, we have watched Billy Joe come out of that house high on narcotics. How are you going to put a child back into a home that is riddled with drug activity?
Yeah. When I first heard about it, and I think I heard it on your channel, I was very emotional because I could just envision, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have a 14-year-old, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to hold her and hold on to her and like never let her go.
I get it. I get it. And it's crazy because, Dolly has come out here and said multiple times that he's done with the protesting. I beg to differ. Let those kids go back to Billy Joe. I bet you we're going to see Dolly Vision with a big old fat bullhorn.
They weren't fair to him at all, were they?
He owes me a bullhorn, by the way. You guys see Dolly, tell him I want my bedazzled bullhorn. I earned it.
I was watching you all, but I was watching from your angle. And so the next thing I know, you're saying he's getting arrested. I didn't even see him in the crowd. I didn't hear him, and I'm like, what did he even do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. He grabbed that Aileen chick that she's a fraudster. She's a petty thefter. She likes to go around and steal things that don't belong to her from stores. Jack up all of our prices for everything that we purchase. It's people like her that do that. She did try to hit these girls with her car. She tried to intimidate us and our tent with her car with a weapon, because her car is a weapon when she's utilizing it like that. And we were begging law enforcement for help, and their response was taking Dolly in instead of helping us.
You all make a great. The 4 of you guys. Is there 4 of you or 5? There's
a lot more, because when we were first down there, it was just Dolly and I, and then Olivia and Mom came, and then House of Williams, Justice for All, ICU, and
great team.
Yeah, and Marissa Molly Golightly came out there, and again, if anybody knows, I love collaborating with other YouTubers. I love collaborating with other people. I'm not one of these
It
people
was
that like doing
nice.
things on my own. You know,
Mhm.
I believe the more the merrier. And if we all can come together in solidarity for these victims, we can be more powerful together than apart.
Well, I don't know how to say this, but did they say how? They probably don't know enough of how he was murdered, do they?
No, they don't. I'm sure they have more information than what they've given us. I'm 100% convinced they have more information than they give us. But they did say they found the human remains. They expect it to ultimately come back to being Quinton's. And other than that, in some other evidentiary matters or evidence, that's all we know. We don't know the manner in which he died. We do know she's charged with malicious murder, which means it was intentional.
So it wasn't just neglect.
Mm-mm.
She just wanted rid of him.
I think so. The information that we found on the ground indicated she targeted this child multiple times. And again, I try to say, you know, these children weren't beat every single day, but when they were hurt, they were hurt.
It's just, you know, you said one of your headlines said that I so agree with you. Said that like we're going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, the world's going to hell.
It's ridiculous. I mean, every day there's another shooting, there's another kid.
Yeah, and my thing was because, you know, this was at Dolly's Walmart. There was a mass shooting at the Walmart in Dolly's.
That was his Walmart?
Yes, it was his Walmart. And it unnerved me, absolutely, wholeheartedly unnerved me that he could have been in that store. He could have been getting last minute. And thank God he doesn't cook, right? Right? He's not
I didn't know he didn't cook.
But if he was, he could have been in that Walmart buying something.
That's crazy.
It's unnerving to me because we know just by the sheer nature of what we cover, we know that tomorrow's never promised. We know that this world's a despicable place, but to have something that major happen so close to one of my allies, one of my friends, you know, a person I highly respect, it unnerves me because he could have, I mean, even though he wasn't in the store at the time, let me just, you know, make sure everybody knows he wasn't in there. He didn't witness anything. He just happened to go out there to cover the case. But man, with one decision, that could have been different.
Yeah. You know the case about in North Carolina, Lyric and Devin, I think his name is.
No, I'm not. It's not ringing a bell to me.
She was 14, and like they were literally taking out like gang just shot in the head.
Oof.
Near Raleigh. Yeah, and that's close to where we live. But they just found who did that.
Yeah.
Teenager.
Yeah, but see, my question is, what is making these children so hostile? Because that's the problem we're having. They're hostile. They don't have any respect for human life.
The generation.
But you know, when we grew up, we had guns when we were growing up. We had knives when we were growing up. But the people of my generation, you got a problem, we handle it with our fists. We don't bring weapons. I mean, I never said we fight clean. You know, if I can get a handful of sand and throw it in your face, that's why I'm going to do it. But you didn't have to worry about getting sliced up or shot in the head. You know, you know, a bar fight was truly a bar fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Back in my generation.
Well, I mean, I was raised, like, I lived with my parents, but my grandparents were next door.
Mm-hmm.
And I was raised a bit old school, so I believe in, you know, having respect. I don't know. I guess I have an old soul in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy, though.
Yeah. Anything else, Shannon?
Yeah, this is embarrassing. I have to ask you this, though. Do you do your own hair or does somebody color it?
No, well, recently I've been I use my own product, but I've been letting somebody else do my hair. It's just I haven't done it in a while. My roots are like an inch to 2 inch thick, but it is what it is. When I get to it, when I can get it done, I get it done. But I've been so busy, it's hard.
I got so fed up that I did mine myself, and I want mine as light as yours, and I just wondered if you did yours.
Yeah, I do mine. The only thing that gets my hair, because I got dark hair, the only thing that gets it this light is Let me see if I can find the container. I can't find it, but it's extreme. It's like it's extreme light. Like when I do my hair, I want to be platinum. The whiter it is, the yellower it is.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted, and it turned out kind of orangey. But I know that your chat doesn't.
When you didn't leave it in long enough, you gotta have, because sometimes if you're too dark, you have to do it in levels. So you have to go through you have to go orange hair for about a week, and then you can do it again, or a week or two, and then you can do it again, so you don't fry your hair. Because when I went blonde, I had dark hair.
Oh, mine's dark too.
Mm-hmm. So,
well,
and I got purple shampoo and purple conditioner to help with the brassiness.
Got that.
Yeah.
But I just want to say to you and everybody in chat, God bless. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's well.
Awesome. Take care, Shannon. God bless you too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, our friend Tattooed Rebel. What is shaking bacon?
What's up, girl?
Not a whole hell of a lot, just going over the whole interview with Miss Diana, just a beautiful soul that got a rotten deal.
She did. She really did get a rotten deal. I was gonna come up here and tell you I did stream a little bit of yours on mine. I hope you don't mind.
It doesn't bother me. When I see it pop up in my copyright, I know which ones are good and which ones aren't.
And another thing, I want to thank you, Dolly, Molly, Olivia, Justice for All, for going down there doing that stuff. If it wasn't for y'all, really, that shit wouldn't have happened. I mean, she wouldn't have got picked up.
No, there's a lot. I think that they would have had to have eventually picked her up, but I'm still, I think I will still always be a little raw that it took them so long with all of the abuse, all of the past abuse. It should never have taken this long to put her behind jail.
No. And another thing I want to thank you for is standing up for the Constitution, because that bullshit putting them sign up down there in front of her house, that a policy does not override the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a policy that they put up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they knew what they were doing, because see, I work with our county, well, I shouldn't say work with, I've experienced our county attorney here in Manatee County multiple times. So I know when how they talk, and they'll say, well, we can do this, but if it's legally challenged, it won't hold up, but it still has to be legally challenged. And they know by the time it's legally challenged, the issue will already have been resolved and already resolved itself. So if I was an attorney and I had the time, I would have definitely been out there filing complaints against them and injunctions to prevent them from doing that. But I didn't have the time to research the law. If it happened here in Florida, I know the law here in Florida inside and out. They would have had it. I would have been going to court with an injunction, emergency.
Oh, easy. I know. I mean, I believe in that Constitution. I don't believe in the stuff that they do. They try and strip it away from everybody. And this is my wife. She says hi.
I heard you in the background on Dolly Vision.
Another thing, I heard you asking, I don't remember who that lady was that you was talking to just now, about the way the schools are now. And in my opinion, the way that the schools are now is because they took prayer out of schools. They took the standing for the flag every morning. When you take God away from everything, everything's going to go to hell.
Yeah, evil's going to infiltrate. And we're watching evil infiltrate our country every single day. I mean, and that's what I keep saying. People want this law and that law. You cannot legislate yourself out of evil.
No, you cannot.
So it's hard. It's just horrible. But thank you for coming up. I am cooking a bird. I'm going to probably be winding down, because I was going to come here around 4 so we could get the presser on the Idaho 4. But to be honest with you, I'm so far behind today that I'm probably not even going to be able to make it back at 4.
I'm right behind you. I ain't looked in on that, but I need to. But yeah, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving.
Likewise.
Y'all do real great. So don't let none of this. And I won't use your name on here, but Zipperhead, Little Stinger, Burger King, don't let them people bother y'all. I know it don't, but still don't let them bother
To be honest with you, my life has changed for the better when I stopped watching them. Like I don't even pay attention. I don't even search their names. I don't look what they're saying. My life has improved literally hand over fist since I turned all of the drama and nonsense off. And when I remove the noise, it's amazing how much focus and perspective you get when you stop listening to all the noise.
Right. But
So,
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Thank you for everything that you do. And
God bless, and thank you for
You
your
too.
love and support. Thank you
No
for your love
problem.
and support. Take care.
y'all be good.
Thank you, Shelby, for being the newest member of the Coffee Club. So, guys, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for. We do have Leilani behind bars. That was the biggest for me because, as many of you guys could imagine, and I think Dolly hit on it as well, many of the creators have hit on it. We didn't want her out for the holidays. It would have been like that would have been the most insulting thing that I think that a law enforcement body could possibly do to a community and to a victim, is to allow the person that perpetrated such pain and such ugliness to be out for the holidays when so many gave so much looking in a landfill for her son's remains. I just don't know how. I don't know how I would have felt. Like I would have been ticked off. Like we're going back to Chatham County anyways. I got to do follow-up work there in a professional capacity. I have to keep saying that because I want to make sure law enforcement knows I'm going there in a professional capacity. Don't step on my toes and stay out of my way. Right? But when we were going back there this last time, it was going to be to shame the police chief again if she was still out of jail. But she's in jail. But the best news, I think, more importantly than her being in jail, is that boy has been pulled from that pit of garbage where he can actually be laid to rest properly. And honestly, that to me was more important than Leilani being in jail. I mean, I'm glad she's in jail, but if they had found him and I'd have been pissed off if they found him and she was still out of jail. But you know what I'm saying? Like the most important to me was making sure that boy his final resting place was not the landfill. And I'm glad that they Chatham County Police Department, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and all of the other resources and organizations that had a hand in that. Thank you. Because at the end of the day, that boy gets to be left laid to rest properly. And we know he's no longer a piece of garbage that his mother left him to be. He mattered. He mattered to each and every one of us. And he will continue to matter to each and every one of us because we're not heartless individuals. His grandmother did squat for him in life and in death. Had she done what she told the court she would do, this child would still be alive. And for that, I pray her to have to wake up to that realization every single day. I hope to God she continues to do her drugs every single day. Because one piece of shit won't be here for very much longer. And I'm okay with that. I really am. She has ruined the lives of her children, and she has ruined the lives of her grandchildren. And that is the reality of this. Billy Joe, you definitely, out of everybody that is disconnected with this murder and disappearance, you are the one with the absolute most blood on your hands next to your daughter. With that being said, as despicable as I think this family and these people are, Miss Diana is right. We have to pray. We have to pray for them. We have to pray for our enemies, not because it's for them, but because it's for us. We have to forgive for ourselves to continue to go on. For everybody else, I want you guys to have a blessed Thanksgiving. I will be here. Don't forget, we're going to be rolling out first thing in the morning. We're going to have the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club show tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but you will be entertained as you guys are getting up and starting to get everything ready for Thanksgiving, because I'm having my Thanksgiving today, so I can be your entertainment while you're preparing your Thanksgiving tomorrow. With that, guys, be blessed, be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. God bless each and every one of you. Sending love to each and every one of your friends and families. And God bless you. Good day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.